Welcome to How to Complete Application Forms. The following instructions have been written using a PC with Windows XP and Internet Explorer. Our systems will work with other operating systems and hardware. If you have any problems, then please contact the Careers and Employability Service. Opening hours Monday to Friday 9 AM to 5 PM. Contact telephone 01494 605 185. Contact email careers@books.ac.uk. The hours listed are subject to change and do not apply during holiday periods. This session will provide an overview of application forms and online applications, highlight common mistakes to avoid, provide techniques on completing supporting information/additional information sections, highlight what employers look for. Understanding application forms.
Employers use application forms in the recruitment process to compare applicants on a like-for-like basis. Application forms differ from CVs in that the employer is asking for specific information about you. It is easier for employers to compare applicants. Employers use them as a checklist for job roles. What do employers look for? Has the applicant followed the instructions for completion properly? Have they completed all sections of the form? Is the form presented well? Someone who has looked at the person's specification and provided relevant examples.
Organising your information for application forms.
It is really important that you follow any instructions provided to you by the recruiter. This will demonstrate your attention to detail and your ability to carry out instructions.
Completion of the application form. Please list all education, training and qualifications starting with the most recent. Please give the precise dates where possible, as this information may be required for the calculation of starting salary. For periods of part-time employment, the fractional equivalent of full-time should be indicated, e.g. half or 3/4, or the average hours per week for hourly paid appointments. Please list employment within educational establishments separately from previous employments in other organisations. If there are any gaps in your employment history, please account for these in the relevant section. This may include sabbaticals, voluntary work, child rearing, periods of unemployment.
In the education section of the form, your most recent qualifications are usually presented first. However, always check the recruiter's instructions. For international qualifications, add in the equivalent scores or grades. In the employment experience section, your most recent job comes first. If you did not have a job title, try to think of one. For example, you could use assistant. Completing supporting or additional information sections can cause the most anxiety. This is a typical question you may get on an application form. You will need to ensure you meet the requirements on the job specification in your responses.
Supporting statement. Please give details of how you consider your experience, knowledge, skills and personal qualities meet the requirements of the post as outlined in the person's specification and job description. Please use a separate sheet for your supporting statement and attach it to the application form.
Here are some ideas as to what you can include in the supporting additional information section. Highlight knowledge gained from your course. Provide evidence of examples from your experience, part-time work, voluntary work, involvement in clubs and societies. Demonstrate how your transferable skills and learning can match the person's specification. Highlight your unique selling points. A really good starting point to this part of the form would be to demonstrate your interest and motivation for the job role and the recruiting organisation.
The position at college as an apprentice program officer appeals to me as I really enjoy motivating and encouraging young people as well as coordinating and building networks with different people and organisations. I would like to gain further experience working in a further education environment. I am currently in my final months of a BSc Honours degree in criminology with high hopes of obtaining a first-class honours degree, subject to my final exams and dissertation entry.
For the remaining part of this section, it is your job to demonstrate to the recruiter that you have the relevant skills for the job. Many recruiters will provide a person specification that will list the competencies they require. A good technique to use to complete this part of the form is the STAR method. This method will help you to structure your responses in a way that will provide details to the recruiter about your competencies. STAR stands for situation, where was it? Task, what was required? Action, how did you respond? What did you do? Results, were you successful? What did you learn from this experience? This is in response to working to tight deadlines.
S. Working to tight deadlines in my previous role at Telecom Systems was an important part of the job. As previously mentioned, much of the work was to support project managers. T. Deadlines were often changed and access to sites were often problematic. A. So quick thinking and changes to work were often required. R. To work in this environment required flexibility and to provide a quick response, so I feel completely confident I will be able to work under pressure and to tight deadlines should I be successful in this role.
Situation. Where was it? Task. What was required? Action. What did you do? Results. Reflect on what you learned or include the successes.
This is a response to demonstrating negotiating skills.
S. As a senior student representative. T. I am expected to attend meetings with the senior management, academics and lecturers about how Bucks New Uni can improve the student experience. A. Most recently in this role, I put forward ideas to have a silent study area in the library. This idea was considered and we now have a new silent study area within the library. R. This has been a challenging yet rewarding experience when changes are implemented that benefit the students.
Situation. Where was it? Task. What was required? Action. What did you do? Results. Reflect on what you learned or include the successes.
This is how you can structure your statement. Use headings to respond to different parts of the person specification. In this example, they have followed the headings used in the person specification. Some applications will include competency-based questions. You will need to provide detailed answers based on your personal experiences. Again, you can use the STAR method to structure your responses. Application form checklist.
Make sure your form does not let you down. Here are some common mistakes people make on their application forms.
Missing out sections of the form. You can add in not applicable. Applicants not reading the questions properly. Applicants not reading through their form before submission. Spelling mistakes can reduce the chances if there are lots of applicants to jobs. Applicants not being honest on their application form. Applicants going over the word count.
Additional tips on completing application forms.
If you are stuck on any questions, it is best to ring the recruitment team. With online applications, you may be able to use a previous application form. Make sure that you target your form towards a new job. Employers find it easy to identify forms that are not targeted to the specific job and have been used for other applications. While some of these mistakes seem minor, when you are competing with hundreds of applicants, it is in your interest to check your form.
More advice.
Read through your entire form before you start to complete it. That way you can plan your responses more carefully. You could complete supporting information in a Word document first and use the spelling and grammar tool, then copy and paste your statement into your form. Always keep a copy of your form, especially any supporting information responses. If you get invited for an interview, you will be able to remember what you told the recruiter. For any future jobs, it will act as a prompt when you come to complete other applications.
To make sure your application stands out, make supporting information as succinct as possible, as this demonstrates your ability to complete paperwork. It should be presented well without spelling mistakes. Make additional information relevant to the post. Demonstrate evidence that you are interested in the job role and the company. Thank you for watching. You will now be able to complete application forms.